Donald Trump siempre ha utilizado la intimidación como estrategia, especialmente cuando se ve acorralado. Pero ahora con el escándalo de Jeffrey Epstein, devorando lo poco que le queda de su credibilidad política, está dispuesto a hacer cualquier cosa para encubrir la verdad. Amenazas, censura, manipulación. Nada le está funcionando. Y eso no solo porque hay demócratas y republicanos denunciando, sino porque incluso alguien desde adentro del FBI acaba de hablar. Así es, señores, un agente del FBI rompió el silencio y ha confirmado que hubo esta operación de encubrimiento desde el propio gobierno de Trump. Vamos a desmenuzarlo todo, pero antes de entrar al testimonio del FBI, quiero que escuchemos lo que dijo Jamie Raskin esta semana sobre las tácticas de intimidación de Trump y por qué es que le están saliendo mal. Escuchemos.
Well, Donald Trump is famously litigious. He's brought more than 3,000 lawsuits in his life, and he feels that, because he's got an army of lawyers and deep pockets, he can intimidate anybody by just suing them. He tried to do it to Harvard University and other colleges. That's failed. He's tried to do it to a bunch of law firms like Perkins Coie and Wilmer Hale. That's failed in those cases. And so obviously the Wall Street Journal is not afraid. The standard that Donald Trump has to meet is he's got to prove falsity, that this was actually not written by him, and they had knowledge of the falsity, or at least were recklessly indifferent as to the veracity of the allegations. And the Wall Street Journal is standing up strong and tall on this, saying, no way, we're completely behind our story. So if Donald Trump wants to go through the discovery process, and if he wants to be deposed about his relationship with Jeffrey Epstein, maybe he gets somebody on his staff to write the birthday letters and so on. Did he ever try to revoke it before or dissociate himself from it before? I mean, after all of the photographs we've seen of them together, and all the videotape and all the evidence we have of their relationship, I think people are going to be suspicious of the idea that somehow somebody completely concocted a birthday message for his 50th birthday, put it in Donald Trump's name. Trump never said anything about it, never tried to distance himself from it, but now suddenly is saying it's not him.
Donald Trump ha intentado aplastar este escándalo desde todos los frentes. Pero lo más dañino no solo es el contenido de los archivos, sino cómo está intentando frenarlo. Hasta sus propios seguidores MAGA están fabricando teorías ridículas sobre Biden, alterando documentos, solo para justificar lo que ya no tiene defensa.
The top Democrat on the Senate Judiciary Committee, which of course oversees the FBI and the Department of Justice, now says that the Bureau agents were instructed to flag to DOJ about any Epstein records that mentioned Donald Trump. Get this is a new letter out today to Attorney General Pam Bondi from Ranking Member Dick Durbin, who writes this, quote, according to information my office received, you pressured the FBI to put approximately 1,000 personnel in its information management division on 24-hour shifts to review approximately 100,000 Epstein-related records, adding, quote, my office was told these personnel were instructed to flag any records in which President Trump was mentioned. What? And all this comes just a day after that shocking story in the Wall Street Journal about what the paper described as a, quote, bawdy birthday letter bearing Trump's signature written to Epstein back in 2003 before his first arrest. Quoting from the Journal's description, the letter bearing Trump's name, which was reviewed by the Journal, is bawdy, like others in the album. It contains several lines of typewritten text framed by the outline of a naked woman, which appears to be hand-drawn with a heavy marker. A pair of small arcs denotes the woman's breasts, and the future president's signature is a squiggly Donald below her waist, mimicking pubic hair. The Journal says that inside the outline of the naked woman was an imaginary typewritten conversation between Trump and Epstein, the third person, which included this line, Donald, enigmas never age. Have you noticed that? And ended with Trump, a pal is a wonderful thing. Happy birthday, and may every day be another wonderful secret. What's more, The document in question was at one point in possession of the DOJ, or at the very least, it was something reviewed by Department of Justice investigators in their prosecutions of Epstein and or his accomplice, Ghislaine Maxwell. To be clear, Trump denies having anything to do with the letter. He is suing the Wall Street Journal over this reporting after having threatened to do so. Quoting from the paper, in an interview with the Journal on Tuesday evening, Trump denied writing the letter or drawing the picture. "This is not me. This is a fake thing. It's a fake Wall Street Journal story," he said. "I never wrote a picture in my life. I don't draw pictures of women," he said. "It's not my language. It's not my words." Of course, Donald Trump has written many pictures in his life, like the ones you are seeing on your screen right now. In fact, people have been surfacing these pictures all day. It seems to be kind of like a thing he's into, actually. I've got to say, when the whole Epstein story first resurfaced, with the 2-page memo from the Department of Justice saying, it's done, case closed, nothing to see here, no client.
Y ahí, señores, es donde entra esta bomba informativa que salió del FBI. Hace unos días, Dick Durbin denunció que agentes del FBI recibieron instrucciones para filtrar documentos donde aparecía el nombre de Trump. Pero ahora tenemos algo peor, y es una confirmación interna desde el propio FBI. La abogada y analista Alison Hill, conocida como Mueller, lanzó un llamado anónimo en Blue Sky pidiendo testimonios de agentes que trabajaron en la revisión de los archivos relacionados con Epstein. El resultado, pues recibió mensajes directos de analistas del FBI que confirmaron que más de 1,000 empleados fueron asignados a revisar los archivos, que había alrededor de 100,000 documentos y 300,000 páginas. A cada analista se le pidió marcar las menciones a Trump por número de página y entregarlo a una hoja de Excel. Algunos trabajaron turnos de 24 o hasta 48 horas seguidas. Pero lo más alarmante fue la falta de protocolos básicos de seguridad, porque los archivos se almacenaron en una unidad compartida sin restricciones de acceso, a la cual podían ingresar personas que no estaban autorizadas por el proyecto. Incluso, se utilizaron videos de entrenamientos internos sin clasificar que explicaban cómo detectar y marcar las menciones a Trump, y esos videos se enviaron abiertamente dentro de la red del FBI. Pero aún, señores, al final los entrenadores ni siquiera eran del FBI, eran del Departamento de Justicia. Los analistas confirmaron que sí se encontró menciones de Trump, aunque no sabemos cuántas ni qué tan comprometedoras son. Lo importante es la intención. Donald Trump no solo trató de ocultar su propio nombre, sino que lo hizo con tanta prisa, con tanta desorganización, que dejó abierta la posibilidad de que todo igual se filtrara. Ese pánico refleja algo mucho más profundo. Él sabe que hay cosas muy graves en esos archivos, cosas que no se pueden borrar con un tuit, peor con una demanda. Todo esto encaja con lo que muchos venimos diciendo. Donald Trump lleva encubriendo su relación con Epstein desde su primer mandato. Y ahora que se están revisando nuevos documentos, parece que está obsesionado con que su nombre no salga publicado en ninguna parte. ¿Quiénes lo están ayudando a lograr eso? Sin duda Pam Bondi, ¿no? Que según los reportes está dando instrucciones directas sobre qué documentos deben pasar filtro y cuáles no. Así que no, Pam Bondi no está haciendo su trabajo, está haciendo el trabajo de Trump. Por si les quedaban dudas, Jamie Raskin también volvió a decirlo muy claro. No fue Biden quien frenó la publicación de estos archivos. Fue Donald Trump. Escuchemos.
Chairman Jordan has said that Attorney General Bondi will be coming in. He's clearly feeling the heat, and so will Kash Patel. And he said before the end of the year, originally, I believe, or at least I was told that he said in another TV interview that it would be in September. So we are going to be in an August recess. And if Attorney General Bondi comes in early in September, even if he says, she will be available for questioning on other subjects, we'll take that. We need the opportunity for her to be directly questioned, and I hope that she will arrive with the transmission of all of the files in the Epstein case, exactly what she promised, including the client list, which she said was sitting on her desk.
Congressman, I'm curious if you've had conversations with Senator Ron Wyden as well. He spent the last 3 years digging into the financial network here, found that 4 banks waited until his arrest to flag $1.5 billion in suspicious transactions. He wants all that made public as well. What do you think we could learn by following the money trail?
Well, we could learn a lot. Obviously, it was extremely expensive to be running this nationwide, perhaps international human trafficking and sexual abuse ring and scheme and follow the money. And so I'm glad that Senator Wyden has been working on that for the last several years. I've not seen any of those SARS reports, but the country is familiar with SARS reports because it's exactly what we learned about and we got to see in the Hunter Biden investigation, and obviously with much smaller stakes than what we're talking about now.
Congressman, what do you make of Congressman Massey and Congressman Ro Khanna's legislation to try and get documents revealed? Do you think there's any chance it could potentially be successful if all the Democrats, with a handful of Republicans who are in this moment willing to kind of defy Donald Trump and actually push through to try and get something out?
Oh, we're headed for a huge success on this one because all of the Democrats are determined to see that all of the files are released. At least 8 or 9 Republicans are joining Congressman Massey and Congressman Khanna's resolution, along with all the Democrats. So the leadership, Speaker Johnson obviously doesn't want this to go forward because they're still trying to help Donald Trump keep the lid on things. But the discharge resolution is an opportunity to dislodge and discharge a resolution which the majority is sitting on. And so as soon as it becomes ripe next week, and I believe that will be Wednesday, then if we all go and sign our names to it, it will be forced out of its hold and onto the floor of the House of Representatives. Some people are saying that Speaker Johnson, at Trump's behest, will just send us home and start the August recess.
Y es que Biden ni siquiera tenía la presidencia cuando se pidió por primera vez liberar estos documentos. Fue Donald Trump quien prometió transparencia y luego la bloqueó por completo. Porque no quiere justicia para las víctimas, no quiere que sepan quién más está involucrado y sobre todo no quiere que lo vinculen a él directamente. Esto no es un escándalo solo sobre Trump y Epstein, es sobre una red entera de poderosos, los que han sido protegidos durante años. Donald Trump explotó a las víctimas cuando le convenía políticamente, y ahora las abandona porque revelar la verdad también lo pone en riesgo a él. Es un abuso, es una traición, y es un crimen, y sin duda tiene que salir a la luz. Muchísimas gracias por acompañarme hasta el final de este video. Recuerda, déjame tu like, comparte este video con tus amigos y suscríbete a nuestro canal. Nos vemos en el próximo video.